Every year, millions of seniors over the age of 62 are paying six specific bills that the law says they do not have to pay. Not might not have to. The law says they do not have to. And when you add those six bills up over the course of a full year, the amount of money going out the door is staggering. I have spent years sitting across from seniors in their living rooms and their kitchen tables, and I can tell you right now that some of the most careful, responsible people in this country are quietly overpaying by hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars every single year. Today, I am going to show you exactly which six bills those are, exactly who qualifies to stop paying them, and exactly what to do this week to make it stop. So stay with me because this information could put real money back in your account starting the very next month. Now, when people hear a video like this, they usually sort themselves into one of two groups. The first group thinks programs like this are for someone else. Maybe for people who are really struggling. Maybe for people who do not have what they have. They are doing fine, and they assume nothing like this applies to them. The second group has heard so many times that the good programs are for someone else that they have simply stopped listening. They figure if something was really available to them, they would have found it by now. I want both of those groups to stay right here because I'm going to show you on every single bill exactly who it helps and exactly how much it can put back in your pocket. If you are in the first group, the income limits are higher than you think. If you are in the second group, these programs exist specifically for people in your situation. So keep watching. I want to tell you something that I have seen again and again in all my years of doing this work. The most common pattern is not people making bad decisions. It is careful, responsible people who did everything right their entire lives. They raised their families, they paid their taxes, they saved what they could and lived within their means. And now in retirement, they are quietly overpaying for things they never owed in the first place. Not because they are reckless, not because they do not care about money, but because nobody ever sat down and explained the rules to them. That is the story I see over and over. And that is exactly who this video is for. My name is, and I have spent 15 years working directly with seniors on issues like these. I have helped clients in 32 states navigate the programs that exist to protect people on fixed incomes. I have seen what happens when someone claims an exemption they did not know existed. I have seen the relief on a person's face when they open their mail and see a bill that is suddenly hundreds of dollars lower than it was the month before. Specificity equals credibility. So I want you to know exactly who you are listening to. This is what I do. This is what I have always done. And I am going to walk you through every single one of these six bills with real numbers, real examples, and real fixes. All of them are real. All of them are legal. And all of them have a fix. There is one thing I need you to understand before we go a single sentence further. Being legally entitled to something and actually receiving it are two completely different things. The government is not going to send you a letter telling you that you have been overpaying. The system does not give this money back on its own. It keeps collecting until you know the exemption exists and you take action to claim it. This is the most important sentence in this entire video. So I'm going to say it one more time. You have to claim it. It does not come to you automatically. Now I want to ask you to do something for me right now before we go any further. Think of one person in your life who is over the age of 65. It could be a parent, it could be a sister or a brother, it could be a neighbor down the street or a friend from your church. Just one person. Now keep that person in mind while you watch the rest of this video, not because they are struggling, not because they are in trouble, but because the odds are very, very good that they are paying at least two or three of these six bills right now for absolutely no reason at all. And one share of this video might put hundreds or even thousands of dollars back in their account this year. We will talk more about that at the end. Right now, let us get into the first bill because this one affects more people than you might think. The first bill we need to talk about is your Medicare Part B premium. This is the monthly charge that comes right out of your Social Security check to pay for your Medicare health insurance coverage. In the year 2026, that monthly charge is $202.90. Let me say that again, $202.90 every single month. That is $2,434.80 every single year going to Medicare, whether you owe it or not. Now, here is what almost nobody tells you. There are 4 federal programs called Medicare Savings Programs. 3 of them, the QMB, the SLMB, and the QI programs, will pay this Part B premium for you if you qualify. That means the government writes that check for you every single month. You do not have to. The rule is this: If your monthly income falls within certain limits, you qualify for at least one of these programs. For a single person, the income limit is $1,816 per month. For a married couple, it is $2,455 per month. The resource limits are $9,950 for an individual and $14,910 for a couple. Now, here is something most people do not know. Many states count less than the federal income limits when they decide who qualifies. Some states have no income limits at all for certain programs, and many seniors who assume they make too much money actually qualify without knowing it. The numbers on this are shocking. According to the National Council on Aging, only about 49% of eligible older adults are currently enrolled in these Medicare savings programs. That means out of approximately 13.5 million people who qualify, only about 6.9 million are actually receiving the benefit. The other 6.6 million people are writing a $202.90 check every single month for a bill that Medicare says they do not have to pay. 6.6 million people. That is a lot of people quietly overpaying. Let me tell you about a client I worked with. Her name was Dorothy. She was 71 years old and she lived in Tampa, Florida. Dorothy had been paying her Medicare Part B premium out of her Social Security check for 6 straight years. She simply assumed that it was just part of getting older. It was something she had to pay. End of story. She came to me after a hospital stay, left her with a stack of medical bills she could not even begin to understand. While we were sorting through all of that, I asked her about her Medicare premium. I asked if she had ever looked into the Medicare savings programs. She had never heard of them. Not once in 6 years had anyone mentioned them to her. Not at the hospital, not at her doctor's office, not anywhere. We filed one single form with her state's Medicaid office. 3 weeks later, she was enrolled in the QI program. Her Part B premium stopped being deducted from her Social Security check. That was $2,434.80 per year going back into her account. She cried the first time she opened her Social Security statement and saw the higher number on her check. She said to me, "I wish someone had told me this 5 years ago." That is exactly why I am telling you right now. Here is exactly what you need to do. Call your state's Medicaid office and ask for an application for the Medicare savings programs. The form is short. It usually has a name like Medicare Savings Program Application or something similar. When you call, ask these 2 questions. First, do I qualify for QMB, SLMB, or QI based on my income and household size? Second, what is the income limit for my situation in this state? It takes about 20 to 30 minutes to fill out. Most people receive an answer within 30 days. And once you are approved, the premium stops coming out of your Social Security check the very next month. The $2,434.80 per year that Dorothy was overpaying stopped the very next month after she applied. It can stop for you too. Let us move to the second bill because this one might surprise you even more. The second bill is what you pay for prescription medications under Medicare Part D. If you are on multiple medications, these costs can add up incredibly fast. I have seen clients paying $200, $300, even $400 per month for their prescriptions. That money comes straight out of a fixed income and it adds up to thousands of dollars every single year. Now, here is the rule. There is a program called Extra Help. It is also known as the Low Income Subsidy. This program lowers what you pay for every single prescription drug covered by your Medicare drug plan. If you qualify for Extra Help, you will pay no more than $12.65 for each prescription in 2026. That is the maximum. Without Extra Help, many seniors are paying full price, which can be hundreds of dollars per prescription. The difference is enormous. Who qualifies? For an individual, your monthly income needs to be under $1,903 per month. For a couple, it needs to be under $2,575 per month. Your resources like stocks, bonds, and savings must be below certain limits, but those limits are higher than most people assume. I cannot tell you how many seniors have said to me, "Oh, I make too much for that." And when we actually looked at the numbers, they qualified. The income limits are not as low as most people think. The Social Security Administration tells us that millions of people who qualify for Extra Help never apply. This program is not advertised. Your doctor does not typically mention it. Your pharmacist does not bring it up. You have to know it exists and then go get it. That is exactly what we are doing right now. I worked with a client named Harold. He was 68 years old and lived in Cleveland, Ohio. Harold was taking 4 prescriptions every single month. His drug costs were eating up $340 per month. That is $4,080 per year going to the pharmacy. He had started skipping doses to stretch his pills because he simply could not afford to fill them the way his doctor prescribed. His doctor did not know. His pharmacist did not tell him. His family did not know. He was just quietly not taking his medication and hoping nothing bad happened. We helped him apply for extra help through Social Security online. He was approved within 6 weeks. His prescription costs dropped from $340 per month to under $40 per month. That was $3,600 per year staying in his pocket instead of going to the pharmacy. Think about what Harold could do with an extra $3,600 this year. That is a real number. That is a real result. And it started with a 20-minute application. Here is what you do. Go to ssa.gov/medicare/part-d-extra-help or call Social Security directly at 1-800-772-1213. You can apply online in about 20 minutes. Have your income information ready and a list of your prescriptions. Ask these 2 questions when you apply. First, am I at or below the income limit for extra help? Second, what documents do I need to show my resources and assets? The approval usually takes 4 to 8 weeks. Once you are approved, your Medicare drug plan will lower your costs automatically the very next month. Harold's costs drop the following month after his approval, $3,600 per year. That is what this program can do for you. Now let us talk about the third bill, because this is one that a lot of seniors dismiss without even looking into it. The third bill is your monthly grocery budget. If you are living on a fixed income, groceries can take up a bigger chunk of your money than almost anything else. And there is a federal program that puts money back on an EBT card every single month to help cover the cost of food. That program is called SNAP, and it used to be called food stamps. Here is how it works. SNAP provides monthly benefits to help you buy groceries. The average monthly benefit for a senior living alone is $188. That is the average. Some people get more, some people get less. But $188 per month is $2,256 per year for groceries you are already buying. That is money that can go toward your rent, your utilities, your prescriptions, or anything else you need. The rule is this: seniors with a net income at or below the federal poverty line qualify for SNAP. Here is something very important that a lot of people do not know. Medical deductions are allowed when they calculate your income. If you are paying a lot for prescriptions, for doctor visits, for medical equipment, those out-of-pocket costs can be subtracted from your income when they determine whether you qualify. This is a big deal because it means many seniors earn too much to qualify for other programs, but still qualify for SNAP because of how the income calculation works. Who qualifies? An individual senior with a monthly net income under $1,305 qualifies in most states. A couple with a monthly net income under $1,763 qualifies. Your countable assets must be under $4,500. These limits are not as tight as most people assume. Here is the statistic that stopped me the first time I read it. According to the National Council on Aging, only 38% of eligible adults age 65 and older participate in SNAP. Let me say that again. Only 38% of eligible seniors are enrolled. Out of approximately 14 million eligible seniors, only about 5 million are receiving the benefit. The other 9 million are paying full price for groceries every single week when the government has money set aside to help them. 9 million people. That is a huge number. Let me tell you about a client named Margaret. She was 74 years old and lived in Phoenix, Arizona. She had a small pension and her Social Security. She figured she was doing okay. She thought SNAP was only for young families with children. She never even considered applying for herself. After we talked, we filed her application with the Arizona SNAP office. She was approved in just 12 days. She started receiving $196 per month on her EBT card. That is $2,352 per year for groceries she was already buying. She told me she cried the first time she went to the store and swiped that card instead of her own money. She said it felt like someone had given her a gift she did not know she was allowed to open. Here is exactly what you do. Go to your local SNAP office or apply online at your state's SNAP website. The application takes about 30 minutes. When you are filling it out, ask these 2 questions. First, what medical deductions can I claim as a senior? Make sure they count all of your out-of-pocket prescription costs and your medical expenses. Second, how do I report my ongoing prescription costs on the application? Many states now allow you to apply by phone, which is easier if you are not comfortable with computers. The average processing time is 1 to 2 weeks. Once you are approved, you will get an EBT card in the mail within a few days. Margaret was approved in 12 days, $196 per month, $2,352 per year. That is real money that can stay in your account. Now, the fourth bill is one that hits hard every single winter. The fourth bill is your home heating and cooling costs. If you are a senior on a fixed income, those utility bills can feel like they are draining your bank account month after month, especially during the cold months when heating takes up a big portion of what you pay. I have seen seniors choose between buying medicine and keeping their heat on. That is a real choice that no one should have to make. There is a federally funded program called LEHEAP. That stands for the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. This program helps low-income households pay their heating and cooling bills. The federal government sends money to every state, and every state runs its own version of the program. Here is the most important thing I can tell you about LIHEAP. It is a grant, not a loan. You do not have to pay it back. The government is giving you this money to help cover your utility bills. Who qualifies? Eligibility is based on your household income and the number of people in your home. In most states, households earning up to 150% of the federal poverty level qualify. Many states also give priority to seniors and people who have medical conditions that make it dangerous for them to be in a home that is too cold or too hot. This is a program that was designed with people like you in mind. I worked with a client named Robert. He was 77 years old and lived in Detroit, Michigan. He was on a fixed income of about $1,800 per month. Every single winter, he was terrified of getting a heating bill he could not pay. He had already had his gas shut off twice in years past. He would delay turning on the heat as long as possible, wearing 3 layers of sweaters just to stay warm. It was not a good situation. It was not safe. We helped him apply for LIHEAP through the Michigan State Office. He was approved and received a credit applied directly to his utility account. His heating bills dropped by an average of $165 per month during the winter season. Over a full year, that was nearly $1,000 he kept instead of sending to the utility company. Robert told me that the first winter after he was approved, he was able to keep his home at a comfortable temperature for the first time in years. He said he slept better, he said he felt safer, and he had nearly $1,000 more in his account at the end of the season. Here is exactly what you do. Call the National Energy Assistance Referral Hotline at 1-866-667-46327. Or visit energyhelp.us, where you can search for your state's LIHEAP program by entering your zip code. Ask these 2 questions. First, what is the income limit for my household size in this state? Second, when does the application period open in my state and how long does it stay open? This is critical. Funding is limited each year. When it runs out, it is gone until the following year. You have to apply while funding is available. Most applications take less than 20 minutes to complete. Robert's application took about 15 minutes. Apply as soon as you can. Nearly $1,000 per year could be yours. Let me tell you about the 5th bill, because this one can save you more money in a single year than almost any other program on this list. The 5th bill is your property tax bill. Every year, local governments send homeowners a property tax bill based on the value of their home. These bills can be substantial, and if you are a senior on a fixed income, they can feel like a heavy weight on top of everything else you are paying. Here's the rule. Every single state in this country has some form of homestead exemption for seniors. These programs reduce the taxable value of your home, which lowers the amount of property tax you owe. Some states also do something even better. They freeze the tax rate at the value of your home at the time you first claim the exemption. That means your property taxes never go up as your home's value increases over the years. You lock in your rate and you keep it. Who qualifies? The age requirement varies by state, but it typically starts at 65. Income limits also vary. In Ohio, households earning up to $38,600 per year qualify. In Texas, seniors over 65 can claim an extra exemption on top of the standard homestead exemption, and it applies every year. In Florida, there is no income limit for seniors who have lived in the state for a certain period of time. The rules are different in every state, but the savings are real in every single state. Here is a real story from my experience. I worked with a client named Patricia. She was 69 years old and lived in Columbus, Ohio. She had been paying $2,100 per year in property taxes on her home. She did not know that she qualified for the homestead exemption because no one had ever sat down and explained it to her. She had been paying the full amount for 3 straight years, 3 years of overpaying. We helped her file the exemption application with her county auditor's office. She was approved for the following tax year. Her property taxes dropped from $2,100 per year to $980 per year. That was $1,120 saved every single year from that point forward. She had already overpaid $6,300 during the 3 years before she found out about the program. That money did not come back to her, but from that point on, she was keeping $1,120 per year that she would have otherwise sent to the county. That is a real number. That is a real result. And it started with a single phone call. Here is exactly what you do. Contact your county auditor's or assessor's office. You can usually find the number online by searching for your county name plus auditor's office. When you call, ask these 2 questions. First, is there a senior homestead exemption available in my county? Second, what is the filing deadline for this year? In most counties, you can file online or mail in a short 1-page form. The exemption takes effect the following tax year once it is approved. The application typically takes about 15 minutes to complete. Patricia's application took 12 minutes, $1,120 per year. Do not wait. Call your county auditor's office this week. Now let us talk about the 6th and final bill. This is one that does not get talked about very much, but for a lot of seniors, it is a real burden. The 6th bill is your water and wastewater bill. Every month, you pay for the water that comes into your home and the wastewater that goes out. These bills add up, and if you are a senior on a fixed income, you may be paying full price for these essential services, even though help exists. There is a federal program called LIHWAP. That stands for the Low Income Household Water Assistance Program. It works exactly like LIHEAP, which we talked about a few minutes ago, but instead of helping with your heating and cooling bills, it helps with your water and wastewater bills. This program can help with past due balances that have built up. It can help reconnect service if it has been shut off, and it can lower your ongoing monthly bill so that you pay less going forward. Who qualifies? Income limits are similar to the other programs we have discussed. Many programs give priority to seniors, households with children, and people with medical conditions. Your local water utility may also have its own separate program, so it is always worth asking. Let me tell you about a client named James. He was 73 years old and lived in Flint, Michigan. His water bill had been running about $85 per month. He had fallen behind during a period of illness and accumulated a balance of over $600 that he could not pay. He was facing a shutoff notice. For a senior on a fixed income, having your water shut off is not just an inconvenience, it is a health and safety issue. We connected him with the Water Residential Assistance Program through his local water authority. He was approved, his past due balance was covered, his ongoing monthly bill was reduced by 25%. He was saving $21 per month going forward. That was over $250 per year in his pocket. And he avoided a shutoff that would have cost him even more money to get reconnected. James told me that he had been losing sleep over that shutoff notice. After we got him approved, he told me he finally felt like he could breathe again. Here is exactly what you do. Contact your local water utility company and ask about their low-income assistance programs. Many water utilities have their own programs that are separate from the federal LIHWAP. Also visit acf.hhs.gov/OCS/programs/LIWAP to find your state program. Ask these 2 questions. First, what low-income water and wastewater assistance programs do you offer? Second, what is the income limit to qualify? Application times vary, but most programs can process an application within 2 to 3 weeks. James was approved within a few weeks and his past due balance disappeared. Over $250 per year saved going forward, and an enormous amount of stress removed from his life. Now I want to pull all of this together for you because there is one idea that connects every single bill we just talked about. And I need you to really hear this. In every single case we just covered, the money does not come back automatically. Medicare Part B premiums do not stop until you file the form and get approved. Prescription drug costs do not go down until you apply for extra help and get accepted. SNAP benefits do not appear on your EBT card until you file the application and get approved. LIHEAP assistance does not come to your door until you call and apply. Property tax exemptions do not take effect until you file with your county auditor and get approved. And water assistance does not help you until you call your utility company and apply. None of these programs send you a check when you become eligible, not one of them. You have to know the program exists and you have to take action to claim it. The system keeps collecting until you do. That is why so many millions of eligible seniors are still paying these bills right now. Not because they do not qualify, not because the law does not protect them, but because nobody ever sat down and explained the rules. And now you know the rules. So let me say this one more time as plainly as I can. The system is not designed to give this money back on its own. Every one of these bills continues to be paid until they know the exemption exists and they take action to claim it. Now, before we end this video, I want to ask you to do two things. First, I want to tell you about a free resource I have put together that can help you go through all 6 of these bills step by step. I have created the 2026 Senior Savings Checklist. This is a free guide that covers every one of the 6 bills we talked about today. It lists every form you need to file, every deadline you need to watch, every phone number you need to call. Every action step is laid out clearly so you can go through them one by one and make sure you are not leaving any of this money on the table. You can print it out and work through it at your kitchen table this week while everything we covered is still fresh in your mind. The link is in the description below this video. Go find it. Print it out, and this week, make one phone call, just one. That is all it takes to get started. Second, I want to ask you to share this video with one person in your life who is over the age of 65. It could be a parent, it could be a sister or a brother, it could be a neighbor or a friend from your church. Send them this video, not because they are struggling, not because they are in trouble, but because the odds are very, very good that they are paying at least 2 or 3 of these 6 bills right now for absolutely no reason at all. One share of this video might put hundreds or even thousands of dollars in that person's account this year. That is what this channel is here for. That is the whole reason I make these videos. And if you are not subscribed to this channel yet, I want to ask you to do that right now. Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you get notified every time we post a new video. Every time a rule changes that affects seniors and retirees, I am going to break it down for you exactly. What it means, who it helps, and exactly what to do about it. That is what this channel does. That is what I am here for.